Hello, this is Rashad Mitchell, February 27th, 2015, on a Friday in Paterson, New Jersey. On the Mitchell Report, another edition of the Mitchell Report. Today I'm going to go in another direction like I did yesterday, do things differently. This is Black History Month, and I wanted to talk about, during this 30-minute podcast, take a look at blacks who invented things that people probably don't know about. And I want to get into it right now, quickly as I can. I'm taking long, but I'm trying to get to the inventions by blacks. This is Black History Month. I want to just get into the details. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at blacks with their inventions, what they have invented. We're going to look at home security system. Now we have home security system because of two black people who did this, who made it possible. Now, there are many advanced, sophisticated home security and surveillance systems, but back in the 60s, systems were not even thought of beyond the simple burglar alarm. But in 1966, Marie Van Brenton Brown and her partner Albert Brown applied for an invention patent for a closed circuit television security system they created. So these two people invented the home security system, made it possible. And then when you look at the potato chips, I remember back in the day, grammar school, I used to eat Bon-Ton potato chips and Wise potato chips that still exist today. I don't know, not sure about Bon-Tons. But anyway, we can thank a black man for creating potato chips. Whereas Bon-Ton or Wise potato chips, this is the guy who invented the potato chips. So in 1865, Hiram Thomas was a chef who created the potato chip out of frustration. Think about that. He created something out of frustration, not out of him being cool, calm, collected. He did out of frustration. And here's the reason why. An irate customer kept repeatedly sending his serving of potatoes back to the chef for thinner slices. In defiance, Thomas cut the potatoes into very reed thin slices to irk the customer. But the customer loved them. So that's why we have potato chips today, because of a black man in 1865 named Hiram Thomas, who was a chef, made it possible for potato chips like Bon-Ton potato chips, like Wise potato chips, be possible in America. And here's another one. Imaging X-ray spectrometer. George Edward Acorn received a BA in physics, a master's degree in physics, and a PhD in atomic and molecular physics. Still, with all those credentials, Acorn is most noted for his innovation of the imaging of the X-ray spectrometer. Next, we're going to look at the ice cream scoop. Long before ice cream was being served on Mr. Softy ice cream trucks, A.L. Crail created something that made it easier to scoop ice cream from out of the box. hence the ice cream scoop, patented on February 2nd, 1897. You know what I'm saying is the person's name, right? A.L. Crail or Kroll. I think it's Crail. But this person made it possible for an ice cream scoop to scoop up ice cream out of a box. He made it easier on February 2nd, 1897. Now, another invention was invented, the toilet. Imagine a world without this invention. Think about that. People gotta use the bathroom and all that. It's amazing. The toilet was invented. Imagine a world without the invention of the toilet. Thanks to J.B. Rhodes. On December 19th, 1899, J.B. Rhodes invented the water closet. Today it is commonly known as the toilet or commode. Before this invention, many people were using outhouses. It wasn't until Rhodes' invention that people could use the bathroom in their own homes. And speaking of toilets, Robert Sherney, another black inventor, designed a toilet used aboard the Skylab. So give credit to J.B. Rhodes and Robert Sherney for the possibility of the toilet being possible. Traffic light. Garrett A. Morgan's invention of the red, yellow, and green traffic light undoubtedly gave way to fewer accidents in street traffic around the world. Patent date, November 20th, 1923. Garrett Morgan invented the traffic light. The fountain pen. Next time you use or buy some big pens or bike pens, remember an African American was responsible for it. W.B. Purvis' original pocket fountain pen had its own ink reservoir that consistently fed ink to the pen's point. The reservoir could also be refilled if needed. Patent date, January 7th, 1890. Patent number 419,065. The mop. Thomas W. Stewart's invention did away with the scrubbing of floors on one's knees with scrub brushes and rags. Stewart's new invention was a cloth connected to a stick handle held in place by a metal clasp. Patent date, June 13th, 1893. Patent number 499,402. So the reason why people mop, you need to thank Thomas W. Stewart's invention of the mop. Lemon squeezer. There's nothing like a nice cold glass of lemonade without seeds, thanks to J.T. White. J.T. White's juicer made it easier to thoroughly squeeze a lemon without getting the seeds and a live pulp. His squeezer also prevented the juice from squirting in your face as it was extracted. Patent date, December 8th, 1896. Patent number 572,849. Next, we got the air conditioner. Thank God for a black man making it possible for people to have air conditioners. It was a black man who came up with the first prototype of what would later become the modern air conditioner. Lewis Latimer's invention consisted of a fan and cooling coils for reducing temperature and purifying the air. Patent date, January 12th, 1886. Patent number 334,078. Now we're going to look finally at the digital computer. Marvin Charles Stewart invented an arithmetic unit for digital computers. The unit increased the speed and storage of digital computers, used less parts, and was superior to the M generator type circuit. Basically, the invention uses arithmetic units for digital computers and utilizes circuits capable of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and accumulations. Patent date, July 30th, 1968. So this is important, man, to know. I ain't know nothing about this that much. I knew about Garrett Morgan with the traffic lights. But it's very important to know your history. Blacks have done a lot for this country. We built a lot of things in this country. And these people are unsung. You got somebody that's black who invented the home security system, the potato chips, imaging, x-ray spectrometer, the ice cream scoop, the toilet. Thank God for a black person. 2 black people, J.B. Rhodes and Robert Cherney. Because Robert Cherney designed the toilet. Fountain pen. Thank God for pens. Mop. You mop the floors. Lemon squeezer. Air conditioner. Digital computer. So that's why I wanted to do this, because I talked about Malcolm X last week. But that was about his assassination. But I'm gonna continue on with that. We'll move on and look at more inventions by blacks. That's what this podcast is gonna be about. It's not gonna be about anything else I'm gonna talk about. So let's look at the inventors from A to Z. I'm not gonna be able to do all of it, but just take a look at Alexander Miles. Now, this is interesting. Alexander Miles was born in Duluth, Minnesota. Unknown. His invention was the electric elevator. Now, I ride on elevators. I live in an apartment building, and the elevator takes me up. So thank God for Alexander Miles. Now, Alexander Miles improved the method of the opening and closing of elevator doors, and he improved the closing of the opening to the elevator shaft when the elevator was not on that floor. Alexander Miles created an automatic mechanism that closed. Now, Alexander Miles of Duluth, Minnesota, patented an electric elevator on October 11, 1887. Alexander Miles did not invent the first elevator. However, his design was very important. Alexander Miles improved the method of the opening and closing of elevator doors, and he improved the closing of the opening to the elevator shaft when an elevator was not on that floor. Alexander Miles created an automatic mechanism that closed access to the shaft. At that time, elevator patrons or operators were often required to manually shut a door to cut off access to the elevator shaft. People would forget to close the shaft door, and as a result, there were accidents with people falling down the elevator shaft. So shout out and salute Alexander Miles for making it possible for electric elevators to exist. Next person we look at is Andrew Beard. Andrew Beard, he's unknown where he was born at. I think he was born 1849, passed in 1921. Now, Andrew Beard invented the plow. Now, Andrew Beard was born a slave on a plantation in Woodland, Alabama. Shortly before slavery ended, Andrew Beard was a farmer, carpenter, blacksmith, a railroad worker, a businessman, and finally an inventor. In 1881, he patented his first invention, a plow, and sold the patent rights for $4,000 in 1884. In 1887, Andrew Beard patented a second plow and sold it for $5,200. Beard invested the money he made from his plow inventions into a profitable real estate business. In 1892, he patented a rotary engine In 1897, Andrew Beard patented an improvement to railroad car couplers, commonly called the Jenny coupler. It did the James job of hooking railroad cars together. Beard himself had lost a leg in a car coupling accident. As an ex-railroad worker, Andrew Beard had the right idea that probably saved countless lives and limbs. Andrew Beard received $50,000 for the patent rights to his Jenny coupler. So shout out and salute Andrew Beard. Next, we take a look at Annie Malone. Now, Annie Malone was born in Metropolis, Illinois. On August 9th, 1869, she passed away on May 10th, 1957. Now, her invention was cosmetics for African American women. Annie Malone developed and manufactured her own line of non-damaging hair straighteners, special oils, and hair stimulants products for African American women. She named her new product Wonderful Hair Grower. Annie Minerva Turnbow was born in Southern Illinois, the daughter of escaped slaves Robert and Isabella Cook Turnbow. While her father went on to fight for the Union troops in the Civil War, her mother had taken their children and escaped from Kentucky, a neutral border state that maintained slavery. After traveling down the Ohio River, she found refuge in Metropolis, Illinois. There, Annie Turnbow was later born, the 10th of 11 children. Annie was born on a farm in Metropolis, where she lived with her siblings until their parents died. Orphaned at a young age, Annie attended a public school in Metropolis before moving to Peoria to live with an older sister. In Peoria, Annie attended high school. She took a great interest in chemistry. However, due to frequent illness, Annie was forced to withdraw from classes. Salute Annie Malone for inventing cosmetics for African American women. Obviously, it wasn't for her. No, black women wouldn't have the hair that they have, the way they do their hair, the stuff like that. Augustus Jackson is next. This is a good one. Augustus Jackson. Now, this person, I don't know where the person was born, but Augustus Jackson, he created ice cream recipes. Augustus Jackson invented an improved method of manufacturing ice cream around 1832. Augustus Jackson left his position as a White House chief to move to Philadelphia in the late 1820s, where he started his own successful catering business. Jackson created several popular ice cream flavors, which he distributed packaged in tin cans to the ice cream parlors of Philadelphia. At that time, many African Americans owned ice cream parlors or were ice cream makers in the Philadelphia area. Augustus Jackson was the most successful, and his ice cream flavors were well loved. Augustus Jackson did not apply for any patents. Salute Augustus Jackson. That's why we have ice cream flavors, because of him, to eat from. If you want to have some type of flavor, he's the guy that did it. Benjamin Banneker. He was born in Ellicott's Mills, Maryland in 1731. Passed away in 1806. His invention was wooden pocket watch. He built one of the first watches made in America, a wooden pocket watch. On November 9th, 1731, Benjamin Banneker was born in Ellicott's Mills, Maryland. He was descendant of slaves. However, Banneker was born a free man. At that time, the law dictated that if your mother was a slave, then you were a slave. If she was a free woman, then you were a free person. Banneker's grandmother, Molly Walsh, was a biracial English immigrant, an indentured servant, who married an African slave named Bonacott. I think I'm saying it right, but who had been brought to the colonies by a slave trader. Molly had served 7 years as an indentured servant before she acquired and worked on her own small farm. Molly Walsh purchased her future husband Bonner Khan and another African to work on her farm. The name Banneker was later changed to Banaki and then changed to Banneker. Benjamin's mother was Mary Banneker, was born free. Benjamin's father, Roger, was a former slave who had bought his own freedom for marrying Mary. Benjamin Banneker, we salute you for inventing the watch. Benjamin Bradley, born in Maryland, unknown in Maryland, but his invention was steam-powered engine for warship. Bradley then used his savings to develop and build an engine large enough to run the first steam-powered warship. Because he was a slave, Bradley was not allowed to get a patent for the engine he developed. He was, however, able to sell the engine and keep the money, which he used to buy his freedom. He lived the rest of his life as a free man. Benjamin Bradley was born a slave in Maryland around 1830, but become an engineer and inventor. Bradley learned literacy from his master's children. Bradley was also good at mathematics and showed a natural talent for making things. I salute Benjamin Bradley. Next, Bessie Blount. Born in Hickory, Virginia in 1914. Invention, the portable receptacle support. The electronical device allowed a tube to deliver one mouthful of food at a time to a patient in a wheelchair or in a bed whenever he or she bit down on the tube. Bessie Blount was a physical therapist who worked with soldiers injured in World War II. Bessie Blount's war service inspired her to patent a device in 1951 that allowed amputees to feed themselves. The electrical device allowed a tube to deliver one mouthful of food at a time to a patient in a wheelchair or in a bed whenever he or she bit down on the tube. She later invented a portable receptacle support that was a simpler and smaller version of the same, designed to be worn around a patient's neck. Bessie Blount was born in Hickory, Virginia in 1914. She moved from Virginia to New Jersey, where she studied to be a physical therapist at the Panzer College of Physical Education at Union Junior College, and then furthered her training as a physical therapist in Chicago. In 1951, Bessie Blount started teaching physical therapy at the Bronx Hospital in New York. She was unable to successfully market her valuable inventions and found no support from the United States Veterans Administration. So she gave the patent rights to the French government in 1952. The French government put the device to good use, helping to make life better for many war vets. A black woman can invent something for the benefit of humankind. Salute to Bessie Blount. As we continue, again, I'm not going to do all the people that was inventors, but this is good because so many people, these people I didn't know anything about. And it's great that to learn, not just on Black History Month, but in general, to know your history, to know about your history. So hopefully those who are listening will understand. Maybe I'll do some of this into March, do it every day, because every month is Black History, no doubt. So now let's continue with this next person. This gentleman named David Cross-Waite was born in Nashville, Tennessee, 1891, passed away in 1976. Now his invention was improved boiler, a new thermostat control, and a new differential vacuum pump, all more effective for the heating systems in larger buildings. David Cross-Waite was born in Nashville. Tennessee, and grew up in Kansas City, Missouri. He received a Bachelor of Science degree and a Master of Engineering degree from Purdue University and honorary doctoral degree in 1975. Crossway moved to Marshalltown, Iowa in 1930 to work for the Durham Company designing heating installations. From 1925 to 1930, Crossway was the director of the research department investigating heating and ventilation methods. Crossway holds 39 U.S. patents for heating systems, vacuum pumps, refrigeration methods and processes, and temperature regulating devices, and 80 international patents for the same. He's well known for creating a heating system for New York's famous Radio City Music Hall and Rockefeller Center. Crossway was an expert on heat transfer, air ventilation, and central air conditioning. He was the author of a manual on heating and cooling with water and guides, standards and codes that dealt with heating, ventilation, refrigeration, and air conditioning systems. During the 1920s and 30s, he invented an improved boiler, a new thermostat control, a new differential vacuum pump, all more effective for the heating systems in larger buildings. He was the technical advisor of Dunham Bush Incorporated from 1930 to 1971. After retiring, Crossway taught a course on steam heating theory and control systems at Purdue University. All right, salute David Crossway. Carter G. Woodson. Obviously, I'm familiar with this guy. This might be my last Black American inventors to look at. Now, this man made it possible for Black History Month to be possible. Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who was born in New Canton, Virginia, on December 19th, 1875. He passed away in 1950. His invention was Black History Month. He launched Negro History Week in 1926, chosen in the second week of February between the birthdays of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln, which evolved into Black History Month in 1976. Carter G. Woodson was born December 19th, 1875 in New Canton, Virginia, the son of former enslaved Africans James Eliza Riddle Woodson. His father helped Union soldiers during the Civil War. He moved his family to West Virginia when he heard that Huntington was building a high school for blacks. Coming from a large poor family, Carter Woodson could not regularly attend school. Through self-instruction, Woodson mastered the fundamentals of common school service by the age of 17. All right, I'm looking like I'm about to run out of time. But anyway, he was the one that launched the Negro History Week in 1926. So I'm going to conclude that the bottom line is Carter G. Woodson. It wasn't for him, there wouldn't be a Black History Month. So that's a good way to end this show for the Mensch Report. I'll talk to you tomorrow, same time, maybe around the same time. But it was great to look back at the black men and women who impacted America, especially Carter G. Woodson, to make it possible for Black History Month. But every month is Black History, because there have been different things that have been done every month for blacks and from blacks. So until then, peace. Talk to you tomorrow. God bless.